Avatar Legends: The Fighting Game was revealed this weekend at New York Comic Con. This trailer got me stoked and locked in all the way, but I do have some concerns, but probably not for the reasons you might think. Most people are talking about developer controversies or whether it'll be another just licensed cash grab, but my concern is something a little different. I'm worried about this game falling into mediocre success, not because it looks bad, but because I want it to reach its potential as a serious competitive fighting game. I don't want this video to be doom and gloom. This is a positive video, and I want this franchise to reach its full potential. Now make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get after it. After the official reveal, Avatar Legends was met with very positive reaction from the FGC, and honestly, I am all in. And just a little side note here, this is my favorite animated franchise. I watched this at least 10 times all the way through before I had kids. Then I have 2 kids and I've watched it maybe 20 times all the way through with them. I love Avatar. This is hands down the best animated series. I will fight to the death over this one. So when I first heard back in 2024 they were making an actual fighting game from Avatar, I was through the roof over this. So I'm very passionate about this and stoked that they are making a fighting game about this. Now let's get back to the video. The trailer looks great. Zuko, my favorite character in the franchise, looks amazing. The hand-drawn style, the bending visuals, the stage design, all of it feels very authentic. Even in alpha, the gameplay already looks fluid, and you can tell the devs are going for something with real movement in their what's called flow system. But even with all that excitement, I can't help but think we've seen this pattern before. Now, a lot of people are going to assume my concern is about who is on the dev team, specifically Mike Z, the co-creator of Skullgirls. I'm not here to rehash that. That's not my focus. My concern isn't about controversy. It's about the game's identity. Because games like this, especially licensed fighters, often struggle to define what they want to be. When a fighting game is based on a huge franchise, there's immediate hype. Fans jump in, YouTubers react, and Twitter just goes nuts. But then a few months later, the conversation dies. Why? Because the game gets treated like a novelty, a little fun side project, not a pillar of the genre. Take a look at Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. It had a passionate dev team and solid mechanics, but it never broke out of that niche zone. It didn't get enough content, marketing, or FGC push to stand next to games such as Street Fighter and Tekken. I don't think there ever will be a game that will stand next to those, but it wasn't ever taken seriously as a competitive fighting game. And you can take a look at Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. Now, I bring this up because technically, the Avatar Legends is a Nickelodeon game, but this was a fighting game that brought in a massive character roster, huge nostalgia power, but it lost momentum fast, and to be honest, I don't think it was ever meant to be taken seriously. There was no long-term community strategy, and the competitive players dropped off before the gameplay could even evolve. And then most recently is going to be Hunter x Hunter Nen Impact. The IP hype was there, but it launched rough, it lacked polish, and couldn't hold a player base. Not to mention, it was very unbalanced, and just recently at EVO France was proof that the game needs a lot of help. But these are some of my fears for Avatar Legends, because the Avatar brand deserves better than, oh yeah, remember that one time Avatar made a fighting game? So here's what I think. If Avatar Legends wants to stand out, it needs to be marketed and designed as a competitive fighting game first, not just a cool adaptation. Because making it competitive does 3 things. It builds long-term credibility, it separates it from the quote licensed game curse, and it gives it room to grow through tournaments, DLC, esports events, and creator content. All sorts of things can help it to grow. And honestly, it fits the Avatar universe perfectly, because Avatar is literally built upon mastery, discipline, balance, and growth. That's the heart of the FGC, and the themes line up perfectly. So how do we do it right? If the devs want to be successful beyond a launch hype, here's what needs to happen. And this is going to sound a little familiar because it's kind of what 2XKO has done, only Avatar Legends has much better timing. First off, rollback netcode and strong online play. That's just non-negotiable in 2025. I mean, when the game launches in summer of 2026, there is no fighting game that cannot have these things. The beta testing with real FGC personalities. Let people like Justin Wong, Sajam, Max Dude, and Rufelmonger get their hands on it early so they can release content content about the game, not to mention going international with players like Arslan Ash. Getting people from outside of the US would really help establish the game as a global product. And 3, this is what 2XKO has been doing very well, is show up to events such as EVO, Combo Breaker, and CEO, even have side tournaments to build credibility before the game comes out. If you get more people to get their hands on it and show how good this game actually is, it will really help build momentum. Also, within the game, a deep training mode, give casuals a way to learn and competitive players a reason to stay. Because so far, even in alpha test, it looks like the game has very complex mechanics and a new flow system that's going to give it solid movement. I think with a deep training mode, it'll help new players come in because a lot of Avatar fans are going to be wanting to try this game, but also give the veteran players, which is going to be your key demographic, to really shine and show how complex the game actually is. And last is marketing that respects both audiences. Show Avatar fans the spectacle and show fighting game fans the mechanics. Kind of similar to what I said about the training mode. Now, it doesn't need to be Street Fighter 6, but it needs to feel real, not just an Avatar smash game. So yeah, I have concerns, but not because of who's working on it or because I doubt the gameplay. I'm worried that Avatar Legends might not get the push it deserves to be taken seriously. Because if this game finds that perfect balance between accessibility and depth, it could be huge. It could be the game that finally breaks the curse of licensed fighters and gives us a true competitive experience built on one of the most beloved worlds in all of Western animation. Until then, I'm keeping my expectations in check, but my hopes are very high. I'm extremely cautiously optimistic. However, I'm about 90% optimistic versus 10% cautious. So I want to know what you guys think in the comments down below. Let me know how stoked you are about this game if you don't really care at all. Do you think it's going to be competitive, or do you think it's going to be a little bit more casual, or a little bit of both? Let me know in the comments down below, and thanks for tuning in. This is Shred, out.